Yo, what up? It's Aaron Moses. Gang, that's funny. My hat is. Hold on, let me. The hat is actually backwards, whatever the case may be. This video was called 7 Skills That Every Criminal Who Loves Their Freedom Should Know. And because I'm going to post this on YouTube, I might change the title, but whatever the case may be, man. Today, I don't want to say I had an epiphany or anything like that, but because of the job and the job that I have, I was changing a lock, right, for one of my residents. And I said out loud, which I don't think was very wise. What's up, man? We in here. I understood that I developed certain skills. I developed certain pieces of knowledge, pieces of information. And I do want to give back. Now, I'm not trying to teach people how to necessarily be better criminals. I don't want people to engage in criminality, but I just know that people are going to do that because that's what they want to do. That's what they feel like they have to do. And in some instances, it is very necessary to do. Now, if you don't know my history, you know, I started off as a while ago. In 2010, the first content that I put out on YouTube was how to sell, something that wasn't necessarily legal to sell at the time in Illinois. And that's how I made my wave. Now, things went left, things went right, and everything like that. We don't even have to discuss that because that was many moons ago. But at the end of the day, I still have those capabilities. And I do want to make this one particular video because I'm not going to go back to that style of content because I just don't want to do that. But at the end of the day, I do want to keep people out of incarceration. I want people to stay free. I'm just going to go on this light because I don't want to keep on standing up and sitting down, standing up, sitting down. But I want people to stay out of jail. I want people to not get hurt, and I want people to not have to hurt people. And a lot of people would not have to hurt people and not have to go to jail and not have to get hurt if they had certain types of information, right? So that is my goal. I don't encourage anyone to engage in criminal activities, but I do want you to stay out of jail, With that being said, a lot of these things are going to be able to put you in a position where if you were to go to jail, or if you were to get hurt and you have to change your life, you would be able to do that successfully without too many hiccups. All right. Hold on. I have to say that again. I'm not encouraging anybody to do anything criminal. I just want you to have the information. Number one, the first thing that I would encourage you to learn is health, working out, diet. Why do you need to learn health, working out, and diet? Because if let's say the worst case scenario, you do have to sit down. You do have to go to jail at some point. Let's say that. I'm not wishing that. I'm not speaking that. I neutralize that. That's the whole point of me making this video, is for you to not do that. But if someone did have to go to jail, you want to know what to eat, what not to eat, how much of it you should eat, and what you should refrain from. Somebody working out, you would be more in touch with your body. You would have a better relationship with your body. You will understand the responses that you get from certain foods, and you will understand what's real and what's not. If you spend your money instead of on jewelry and on clothes, you spend it on foods. You go to Whole Foods or you go to Trader Joe's and you try to actually have a better relationship with food, then you would know what's going to give you longevity, what's going to give you an edge. I'll give you an example. Let's say there's a specific style of eating. I forgot what it's called, but I'm going to try to break it down in a nutshell as quickly as possible. So let's say if somebody has food stamps, right? Or not even food stamps, if they have money, if they have a budget for their food, If they spend $300 for the month, fill up their refrigerator and their freezer, by the time, and they get that on the 1st, but by the time it's the 15th, they were making big ass sandwiches, big ass meals. But by the time it comes to the 15th, those meals aren't as big. Those sandwiches aren't as abundant. You know what I mean? The meals and the portions are getting smaller and smaller and smaller, to the point where by the time it's the 20th, they're surviving off of peanut butter and jelly. They're surviving off of hard-boiled eggs. They're surviving off of ramen noodles. They're eating very scarcely. Do you understand that that's a way that makes people obese? Whereas if you were to ration out your food properly, you would be at a proper diet. A lot of people in the inner urban impoverished communities are obese is because they eat very big meals as soon as they get paid, or as soon as their food stamps hit. They eat a lot, and then they slowly, or maybe even quickly, don't have enough food, which makes the body go into survival mode, which makes the body hold on to body fat. So if you're overweight, the first thing that you need to do is adjust your diet. So if you have that style of eating, you know what I mean, you may lose weight if you eat consistently a specific amount of calories. If you're eating 10,000 calories a day for a week, and then you go down to 5,000 calories, and then you go down to 1,000 calories a day, of course your body's going to hold on and hoard all that body fat, because it doesn't know, because it's uncertain, you know. But at the end of the day, there are many different reasons why, as somebody who's living a criminal lifestyle, should learn health. Number one, you'll be able to think. Number one, your body is going to be more fluid. It's going to be more flexible to battle, whether that be mental, physical, or spiritual. So you definitely want to have an advantage as far as the ops. And when I'm not making this for the gangsters. I'm making this for everybody in criminality. Whether you're, producing a product, or you're providing a service, or you're trying to strip somebody from their product, or you're trying to stop somebody's service, whether you're a male or a female. So I just want you to have the mind to be able to apply this to what you have going on. Nextly, man, you need to learn a trade. Now, me, I'm a maintenance tech. I know a trade. I know plumbing. I know electricity. I know carpentry, light carpentry. I know a little bit about locks. I know a little bit about this, a little bit about that. I know, but imagine just the thing that I said about my job today in front of my supervisor, which I probably shouldn't have said that, but hopefully it won't turn around and bite me in the ass. We were changing a lock for a resident today, and I made a joke because he showed me essentially how to break into somebody's house. And what I said was, I'm glad I didn't know how to do this 15 years ago, right? I probably shouldn't have said that in front of him, but it's too late. It is what it is. At the same time, I don't have a record, which that doesn't mean anything because we live in California. But at the end of the day, nigga, if I knew what I know right now, I would have been, bro, if you go to school, if you're a criminal, if you flock, or if you sell whatever, you should know a lot of the stuff I know about electricity, plumbing, locks, doors, certain things. If you know certain things like that, bro, you could fuck up your ops whole block, turning off certain things and knowing what wires, and knowing how to trip people's. And again, I'm not trying to teach you how to be. That's not my desire. I don't want to make you a more effective criminal. I want you to stay out of jail, right? I want you to not have to face the consequences, or not, because when I was, again, I don't have a record, but when I was 19, I was facing 20 years. More than once. Not more than twice, but more than once. But had I known, well, let me think about that. Nah, but had I known certain things, the likelihood of me having to face those consequences would have lowered, more than likely, right? But if you just go to school for electricity or go to school for plumbing, because if you're a real criminal, bro, if you really are about that life, as the people like to say, then number one, it's going to teach you how to do things from a distance. It's going to teach you how to do things silently. It's going to teach you critical thinking, which is what we're going to get on a little bit later. It's going to teach you more decision-making skills. It's going to make you more aware of certain things and more mechanical-minded thinking. You know what I'm saying? But let's say if I wasn't, which I wasn't a gangbanger. I've never been in a gang. I've never been formally introduced to gang life or anything. I never slid or anything like that. But if I had the skills back then that I have now, and if I was an active gangbanger at some point, it would have been all bad. I'll just say that. And the fact that I hung out with so many Mexicans and so many Latinos, and I knew that they had certain skills, or their dads had certain skills, and they just didn't put them on game. Because I had one friend, side note, I'm not even going to say his name, because that nigga is a reprobate. A reprobate, however you say it. Shout out to Sinful. I learned that word from him. But his dad was an electrician. And I can understand why, well, for multiple reasons, because his mom gave him a job, and that nigga got fired on the third day. So he was obviously a fuck up, but his dad was an electrician. They were having a little bit of money. They were like American dream, middle America. They moved from the hood, and they end up moving closer to Wisconsin. I'll just say that. But I could very much so understand why his dad didn't teach him his electricity skills, because his son, being an active gangbanger, if he would have taught him those skills, oh yeah, he would have fucked the ops over very easily. But again, like I said, I don't want people to go in the street and harm more people. I want you to help yourself by staying out of jail. So that's my whole point, because you might say to yourself, Aaron Moses, your name is Aaron Moses, nigga. Why are you trying to teach people how to be Shaitan Beelzebub? I'm not trying to teach you how to be a demon. Like, that's not what I do. That's not what I love. That's not what I like. I just want you to be safe. So nextly, we're going to move off of that. Oh, after that, I do have to say this. When I was dipping and dabbling and living that lifestyle, which, you know, I don't really regret it, because I learned a lot about psychology and how to deal with certain situations and handle certain types of people. One of the OGs told me, bro, like, this is not forever. Like, you think I'm going to be a 60-year-old and being in the street? No, bro. I want to learn what I can learn from this. This is a stepping stone. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching my environment, because a lot of people don't like me where I live. And it's kind of dangerous, and there's loose-ass dogs around here. So don't take that as disrespect. And I'm not looking at the camera, but it's not for you to be in the street for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? It's about you getting what you can, getting the knowledge, getting the game, getting the money for you to get. Damn, that cat just jumped over that fence. That little ass cat. See? You got all these insecurities, and this little 2 foot, he just, what the fuck? Cats are amazing, bro. Look at them go. Anyways, I got distracted. It's not about you being in the street for the rest of your life. It's not about you, man, I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow, nigga, but I'm going to be in the street today. Nigga, with the same thing will make you laugh and make you cry. Nigga, laugh, not cry. Like, that's foolish. But what if you actually live and go on? And why do you not want to live and go on? You want to be, if anything should happen, bro, if you look up one day and you're the same age as old-ass Aaron Moses, if you end up being 34 one day, or maybe if you end up being 23, bro, I thought I was going to be out of here by 21, 22. I didn't think I would live to be this old and have 2 children. I didn't, honestly. I didn't care either. But let's just say it so happens that you make it past the age of 23. You could go to school at the age of 16 and learn some skills. You could be an electrician or a plumber, and you don't have to go to school for that, but you can learn how to do it. And you don't even have to work for a formal company. You could just pay somebody to make up a resume, not even make up a resume, create a resume, or create a Facebook or Instagram ad, or an Instagram or a TikTok, video, and you could actually work freelance. You could actually make a good $2, $3, $4, $500 a day. Nigga, do you know that you could go outside right now and get you a $50 snake, $75 snake? You can get you a $150 drill or a couple tools, and you could use those tools to make you $300, $400. Nigga, you could drop less than $500 right now and make that back in one day, and then make it back the second day, and then make that back again the third day. Like, nigga, you could actually learn a skill, and you don't have to pay for these skills. If you live in a big city, if you live in a city that has more than a quarter million, if you live in a city that has more than 100,000 people, 9 times out of 10, there's a free school that will teach you how to do these trades. And they will provide the tools for you to do it. And you don't have to get the job. And you don't have to go to an interview or anything. Nigga, I've been in certain social situations where people have told me that they just know how to do plumbing. They just know how to do electricity. Do they have their certifications? Do they have a degree? No, people don't care about you having a degree or a certification. They just want to know that you have the confidence that you know what you're doing, my nigga. So whether you use those tools or that information to harm somebody or help somebody, nigga, ultimately it's going to help you. And you're not always going to be gangbanging until you're 50 years old. You're not always going to be selling this and doing that and providing certain services and providing certain products. But if you have a certain trade, you know what to do when all else fails. I'll just say it like that, right? Thirdly, I would have to say one thing that you definitely should learn, which I don't want to sound like a hypocrite because I don't know this, but you definitely, one thing that I regret about my youth that I didn't utilize with my youth is learning different languages. Because if you're in the street, I don't even like to use the word criminal. Shout out to the criminals. But learning different languages, whether you go to the pinta or whether you don't, you're going to be in situations where people don't speak the same language as you. We're in America. So 9 times out of 10, you're going to be around some Mexicans or some people that's from Portugal or some people that's from Brazil. You're going to need to learn Spanish, my nigga. If you're a young nigga, if you're under the age of 30, which is what I consider a young nigga, if you're under the age of that, nigga, you need to learn Spanish. You need to be, you don't need to master the language of Spanish or Portuguese. Nigga, even if you don't want to learn, even just learn Italian, my nigga, Italian and Portuguese. You must say, like, I don't want to go to no motherfucking Mexico. Whatever the case may be, bro, the safe language for you to learn is Italian or Spanish. Because, nigga, you can go to Italy and know Portuguese and survive. You can know Spanish and go to Italy and survive. You can know Italian and go to Portugal and Mexico and survive, I suppose. But you want to learn different languages. Why? Because you're going to be around people who don't speak English and who presume you don't speak English, or who are going to probably plan or might want to fuck you over, and they don't speak, or they think that you don't speak Spanish, or they don't think you speak Italian, or they don't think you speak Portuguese. And that's one of the biggest business languages. And you're in the street because you want to do business, right? Okay, so you need to be the biggest business languages in the world are Portuguese. I mean, not Portuguese, excuse me. English, Mandarin, which is Chinese, and Spanish, my nigga. So you need to know at least basic phrases. And do I know basic phrases of Spanish? No. Even though my baby mama's Mexican, even though I live in Mexico, I still don't know Spanish. Do I give a fuck? Yes. I just don't have the time for that shit. So I guess I don't give a fuck enough. But, nigga, Do you want to be American? Do you want to live in America for the rest of your life? And shit, this is not the movies, bro. Shit, just like on Blow, you might you might be doing something. You might just be looking good, smelling good, driving good, eating good, in a good environment. And you might just run across somebody that just, you just want to put your meat in her taco. But guess what? She doesn't speak English. Now what your stupid ass gonna do? Well, let me put the translator. Hold on, let me Google Translate. Yes, I just want to say, I want to, you look real good and you smell heavenly. That shit's not going to translate 110% all the time. So you need to be on your P's and Q's, and you need to be on your ones and twos so you can actually communicate with that female. Okay, so at the end of the day, let's go to the next one. I'm not going to get too deep, plus it's late, plus, I want to go to sleep and handle my business. So you need to go to school. Well, I don't want to say go to school, but you need to actually learn the foundations of business. Now, with all the information, all the experience that I've had, doing what I've done that was not necessarily legal or positive in my past lifestyle, I understood business in certain business sense from a very young age because I had experience. But if you learn the jargon, aka the language, again going back to the language, if you learn certain patterns, certain habits, negotiation, if you learn certain budgeting, things that are essential for you to learn about business, you should actually dedicate yourself to knowing certain things. Now, you don't have to read every book, because I know a lot of people, reading is their kryptonite. But there are Harvard University, Yale University, there are lectures, Stanford, on YouTube that are free. That's 10, 12, 15 years old. They're not going to charge you to watch it. If you go on pdfdrive.com right now, there are books that are not outdated. They're old as hell, but it didn't change, my nigga. Because a lot of shit didn't change, which we're going to talk about later. Learn business. Like, a lot of y'all wanted to, Nipsey Hussle, he was so he really was prolific. I can understand why he used that word, nigga. You don't even know. Have you ever even Googled what the word prolific means? Yes, this man was a businessman, and he was trying to embody evolution, business, black empowerment, development. But you don't even invest yourself into any of that. So why would you even congratulate him for doing any of that if you don't even understand the movement at all? That's slow. I'm not gonna call you the R word. I'm gonna just say that's slow. For you to congratulate somebody and be mourning somebody when you don't even understand half of what he stood for. You sound like a cheerleader. I'm not even gonna call you a 304 because I respect you as a man. But for you to keep on praising Nipsey Hussle for everything that he did, and you don't even understand why this man, you're just a cheerleader, you're just a follower. But when you start to understand business and you really actually start to understand certain structures and strategies and certain jargons and certain words, you'll be able to appreciate the flavor of Nipsey Hussle a lot more. Shout out to Marathon Burger. And I do want to apologize because I'm not even going to go into that. I'll say that for later. Nextly, bro, we want to break down. I'm not going to break this down at all. But the next thing that you need to do is you need to study critical thinking. And again, there's an abundance of critical thinking lectures, audio books, PDF, full books on pdfdrive.com. Just type in critical thinking. Now, the importance of this, which I'm not going to break down critical thinking at all for you, but what I will say is this. If you understand the fundamentals and just go on, first of all, you need to download Google Gemini, right, which is an AI app. or even do ChatGPT, which I'm not a big I am a big fan of ChatGPT, but it's just limited in certain things. But if you go on Google Gemini or ChatGPT and you type in because I don't like to use 4, what are the 6 or 8 pillars of critical thinking? What it's going to pull up is going to say decision-making skills. It's going to say the ability to understand this, and this, and this, and this. Nigga, if that shit doesn't apply to you, if you actually understand what critical thinking is, and that shit doesn't apply to you, that means that you're a dumb motherfucker, bro. And you should be offended. But at the end of the day, it's not for you to actually feel bad, nigga. It's for you to, it's for you to.
30 different parts. And this bumper is already put together. All you gotta do is new lights and all window shade. All you gotta do is put on the clear. It's easy. I want to get some window shades.
1 second, John. It's not for you to be criticized and minimized. It's for you to actually improve your life. So at the end of the day, you do actually need to understand what critical thinking is. But because funny enough, when I was working there, I was using the work Wi-Fi. So they were able to look into what I was looking up. But at the end of the day, bro, if you don't understand what critical thinking is, and if you're not a critical thinker, that means you're dumb, bro. Like I said, when people, and I will reiterate this, when people constantly, or not constantly, but if anybody says that you obviously don't understand emotional intelligence, that's really what the bitches, fuck y'all. That's usually what the bitch is saying. So if a female says, you have low emotional, or you lack emotional intelligence, that's pretty much her saying that you don't have any game. That's pretty much her. That's pretty much saying that she's calling you stupid. And if somebody said that you need to study critical thinking, that motherfucker's saying that you don't have any good decision-making skills, that you're not a good leader, that you're stupid, that you're dumb. They're pretty much saying that you are dumb and that you're not a real man. Because if you don't have good critical thinking skills, if you just do whatever, and let's just say this, if you're somebody who is you're in the business of B&E, you like to break a nigga's houses, you know? If you don't understand to park it, or let's say, okay, I'm gonna give you this example, because this is a real life situation that I actually went through when I was flocking with my cousin in Chicago. We were in a very prominent suburb. This man had a Volvo. He parked this Volvo on the opposite side of a one-way street, on the curb, mind you, in the middle of the day. And we decided to, and this is not a real situation. This is a situation I'm writing in a fictional book. It's called The Fiction of All Fiction, Without Pope. It's coming out next year, actually, on my birthday. So in the book, I wrote about a fictional story about me and my cousin and my other little cousin. In the book, I wrote about my cousin parking across the street, that in the book we were breaking into this house, and he parked across the street on the curb. And in the book, the person whose house we were breaking into showed up because his neighbors called him from work. Now, if we would have thought logically, if we were some good critical thinkers, number one, this is a prominent suburb. Why are you driving this baby mama car? Why are you driving this angry baby mama car in this neighborhood with all these white people that have cars that's all in the year or above the year? It's 2000 and what? How old was I in this book? I think I was like 17 in this book. So everybody had 2008s and 2009s. Nigga, this is a 1995 Volvo in this book. Not only are you driving a 1995 Volvo? You parked it on a one-way street the opposite way in this book, and you parked it on the curb in this book, and you parked it on somebody's grass in the book. Horrible critical thinking skills. And we have my cousin playing on the what's that called? The playground in the backyard in the book. And my cousin in the book was trying to break in the book at the backyard in the book in the back window in the book off the back. Now, did we go into jail in the book? No, because in the book the dude was cool in the book, and we were able to drive off in the book, and we broke in somebody else's house that same day in the book. And guess what? That lady came home too in the book. But at the end of the day, yes, critical thinking, very important. Nextly, diversify your knowledge. Now, what does that mean? This is probably the most important part of this video. Diversifying your knowledge. Now, you want to be able to speak about criminality. You want to be able to speak about spirituality. You want to be able to have conversations, which I want to do a part 2 of this video. Yes, I'm going to the backyard because I have to pee. And keep it real. But the thing about it is, moving to the West Coast, specifically South Central LA, I would have to say, I can't really say, I don't really want to leave out anybody, because predominantly I grew up in the Midwest and the South. But you want to be able to speak about the chakras. You want to be able to speak about art, fashion. You want to be able to speak about history. You want to be able to get as much knowledge as you can about different lifestyles, about different cultures, which is my last point, so I'm going to tie all this together. You want to be able to speak about cultures and different styles of knowledges more than anything. Because when you learn about different things, where all you know is about knowledge. All you know is about criminality. All you know is about your gang or your area or your neighborhood. Bro, what the fuck do you have to offer to a conversation with somebody who does not understand what you have gone through? Because let's even say if you want to learn 2 different things, let's say food and medicine. Okay, if you want to learn about spirituality and health, or if you want to learn about the tarot and astrology, bro, even if you learn certain things, you'll be able to connect with certain people, because it's all about connection. If you want to learn about any 2 things that connect, you want to diversify your mental repertoire. You don't just want to be a one-trick pony. You don't want to just be somebody that, I'm just a carpenter and all I know is about nails and wood. Like, bro, get the fuck out of here. Like, I'm a farmer. All I know is about animals and motherfucking plants. Like, bro, that's cool. I'm not trying to downplay the farmers or the carpenters or anything like that. But you need to be able to speak about something, bro. Even whatever you need to study obsessively, study it. And of course, you have to be interested in it. But something that's going to translate to people, especially something that's going to help people. Now, you might want to, number one, you want to be able to study something that's going to improve people's relationships, and something that's going to improve people's relationship with money. Of course, the relationship with their lifestyle. Something that's going to improve them. And if you truly don't give a fuck about that, if you don't give a fuck about Bitcoin, don't study Bitcoin. Stupid man. If you don't give a fuck about relationship, like I'm gonna just tell you this, if you truly don't, I'm not trying to call you gay. But if you're a man and you like women, and you just like women for pussy, if you truly don't give a fuck about female psychology, why would you study female psychology? Why don't you study money so you could be a better trick? And there's nothing wrong with spending money on box, if that's what you want to do. But nigga, why are you taking all your time out your day on spending money? I mean, a lot of y'all niggas are spending money, so you're a triple trick. Why are you spending? Why are you paying men to tell you how to treat women when you don't even care about women? You don't even like women. Like, you're attracted to women. You're not a homosexual, but you don't even care about how women think. You just want to fuck. Nigga, if you don't care, bro, if you truly don't care about women, why are you spending all your money on how to treat women, bro? If you just want to fuck, nigga, just spend money on how to make more money and just fuck. There's nothing wrong with that, my nigga. But if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. Nigga, spend more money on how to learn how to fix computers. Spend more money, hold up. Spend more money. There we go. Nigga, if you're a computer nerd or what have you, why are you spending all this money on how to talk to women if you're not even going to use the information? Spend more money on college. Spend more money on how to be a better doctor. Spend more money on how to make more money, bro, if that's what you really want to do. Me, I actually like women. So, I'm not going to spend money on a nigga to teach me how to get at a bitch. I'm just gonna get at the bitch. It's not that hard to, you know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, it's females out here. I'm just gonna open my mouth. That's just how it is. But I just never understood that. Yeah, and like, I go to people's YouTube. So what do I do if I see a female and I just want to talk to her, but she looks down when I was looking her in the eye, but she was looking at me first, and then she looked down, and now I want to look at her. Nigga, go to it. Shut the fuck up. What are you talking about, bro? But at the end of the day, yeah, man. And then lastly, you have to take the time out your day to learn about different cultures. Why is that important? Because it's gonna give you more empathy, not necessarily making you more soft or more anything like that. It's just gonna... What's the definition of a culture? The definition of a culture is a collective understanding of food, dress, language, music, food. Well, I think it's 5 or 7 different elements. Food, dress, language, religion, basically different ideals that make people come on one accord to live a certain lifestyle. When you understand that, you would definitely understand why certain people respond in certain ways. Now, whether you want to immerse yourself in one culture, which I recommend the Arabic culture. I would definitely recommend the Latino culture. I definitely recommend the Eastern cultures. It's called, funny enough, Sinology, right? The people who study, well, Sinology is specifically referring to Chinese culture. But if you study any of those, which are the biggest culture, Indian culture, which are some of the biggest cultures that dominate the minds of America, you don't necessarily, I don't want to say you don't necessarily have to study psychology, but a lot of times it's more, you have a better time and a more enjoyable time as far as learning the psychology of human behavior as opposed to learning behavior and psychology so unfiltered, because it's going to have a connotation to it and it's going to be a little bit more enjoyable. For example, if you study the Arabic culture, they will tell you that the Arabic culture is so poetic in speech because their language was literally preserved when they were developing the Arabic language. They preserved their language through poetic competitions. Like they would write poems to use certain colloquial terms and cliches, and they would use those, the language as we know it, the Arabic language as we know it, was preserved because of poem competitions. Boom. They would tell you that the Arabic language was preserved because of Islam. They would tell you that the reason that Islam is this, and this, and they consider you a Muslim or Islamic or Arabi because you learn the language. So they consider you an Arabic person if you have a good understanding of the language. So they don't believe in racism. And so it's just a lot of things that you can get from different cultures. So whatever the case may be, man, like I said, I do want to reiterate, I do want to end this on a positive note, man. I love all you guys, especially my nigga Macaroni. Now I'm just playing. Macho Grant, man, for staying here and just understanding that I was trying to give back. And again, I'm going to put this on YouTube. YouTube just has been hating on the nigga, man, for the last 4 lives I've been going on YouTube. They keep on trying to stop my information. They don't want me to go live. But again, I don't want to harm anybody. I don't wish to put out any harmful content. I just want people to be able to thrive and survive, especially the minorities. Man, I have love for white people, but I just want people to be able to get the information, whatever lifestyle you're going through, whatever lifestyle you choose, especially if it's not necessarily, especially if it's not legal. But what I'm going through, it's not negative. I have a good life, especially because I have all my teeth, because I wake up every day. I still have both of my children. I have a lot of things going for myself. I have a lot of great things going for it. And I had a great dream, a beautiful dream about me driving a beautiful, very smooth Benz, which I didn't even want a Benz. I wanted a Lexus, to be honest. But I had a dream I was driving a Benz. But for whatever reason, I couldn't find any music to listen to, and I pulled over on the highway because I couldn't find music that I wanted to listen to. But whatever the case may be, man, I love you guys. And I love. And that's enough. So, it is what it is. It's not what it's not. It's Aaron Moses. I'm the bang, you the bang, we the bang together, man. Life is always in the breath. Breathe it in. Peace. Okay. Make sure you share this video, too.